Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name is Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube, and I use spirit, my intuition, the tarot to communicate energies to you guys, most amazing, beautiful viewers. I love you guys so much. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm so glad you found me. You're here. I'm excited you're here. And for those of you guys returning, I'm so grateful and blessed to be doing your reading. If you're new to this channel, please listen to the disclaimer. I will put a timestamp to that. If you're interested in the cards that I'm using today and you're a tarot reader or just curious, I will put a link to the cards that we're using. And then we'll put a link to the pile selection, and you can go there at any point in time. So we're looking at what it is you deserve and why it is you deserve it, because I think we need to hear some positivity here, because Spirit was really pulling through with this energy of you understanding what your value is and why. Because if we don't believe in ourselves in regards to what we deserve, we might sell ourselves short, okay? And even if you think that you deserve the best, if you don't believe it, then there's a disconnect from mind and heart, and we can't see your own shadow. So we might say we believe it, but we might only intellectually know that that is a concept, that we do deserve it, but we might sabotage, or we might, out of shadow, push away what it is that we actually deserve. Okay, so you deserve the best, and what it is you deserve, Spirit's going to pull through here, and why you deserve it. And hopefully you can come back here and listen until you believe it. Okay, if you resonate with my readings, this is true. This isn't fluff. Okay, this is what Spirit wants you to know and really believe. So if you're just sort of coming here to feel good, that's okay, because feeling good is good, but it's really for you to believe it so that you can connect to that belief and make major changes in how you speak to yourself and where you're driving towards. Okay, so if you click on that pile, and I will ask Spirit to deliver whatever you're needing to hear so that you really resonate and understand that that's your pile. Okay, if you're pulled to multiple piles, absolutely fine. Okay, and I'll go into the disclaimer right now and put the timestamps. So those of you guys who are new to this channel and maybe new to tarot, tarot doesn't predict your future. Tarot needs to be used in a way that reflects back to you what it is that your intuition is already knowing. So if the information coming out is completely new to you, it's something you haven't even thought of, considered, it's all news that's new, then it's most likely not your pile, okay? Because tarot is really confirming intuition and sending affirmations to that which you're already feeling intuitively through your dreams and which you already know to be true. Okay, so there is a danger in using tarot to predict what it is that, not even really a danger, but the danger could be we fall into the trap of capping ourselves or limiting ourselves, thinking that the tarot reader predicted something would happen, and therefore we start to put ourselves on that path. Okay, so nobody can dictate where you're headed. Energy is fluid, okay? And you use free will to make decisions all the time. So what frequency are you resonating on, vibrating at, is really going to dictate your world around you. So if you're set to the same channel of frequency out of program, it's very set, and it's difficult to get out of program because it's been produced over a lengthy period of time, all your life, maybe lifetimes. Okay, so that's the frequency that you are predominantly in, and so your most likely outcome, or where you're headed energetically, will be sort of mirrored back to you. Okay, but if you wake up and you're conscious, then all of a sudden you can start to interject certain situations with your free will, because you're awakened to the choices you're making. Okay, so this is what this tarot is really going to be most useful for you. So if you find you're in the tarot trap, repeating tarot readings after tarot readings, but you're not ascending, healing, growing, and feel like you're more doing circles, stuck, and more depressed, then that means you're most likely not awakened to the power of the tarot that can help you. Okay, so in this channel, my intention is always to provide messages that heal and help you during your ascension process. It is not to keep you in perpetual state of illusion. Okay, spiritual people need to get grounded, and sometimes we're just out there in some sort of different dimension, and we're not really manifesting or bringing it into this 3D world. Okay, so this is predominantly what these readings are to do here, is to provide you with healing. And sometimes healing's easy when it feels good, and sometimes healing is very difficult when it's a truth that is challenging to accept. Okay, but either which way, my intention is always to deliver the healing to you. Now, you could take it or leave it. That's up to you in spirit. And if you don't agree or whatever the messaging is, you don't necessarily have to tell me. You can leave comments. I don't care. I welcome every point of view. It's all valid. When it comes to the universe, everything is valid. Okay, like all perspectives, but it's really between you and spirit. So I don't really get involved with why you're sort of doing what you're doing. That's up to you and spirit. This is just communicating messages to you. Okay, and the message will come through with quite a strong sort of energy in order for me to pick it up. So if I'm like really dramatically going over an energy that's more positive, you can kind of tone it to the scale of where you feel it's comfortable for you. So for example, if I'm tapped into something that I don't know, it's exaggerated, I'll communicate it in an exaggerated form. It might be more of a toned down, maybe watered version of it. Okay, but the nuances are up to you. Everybody's situation is different. This is a general reading. Many viewers sort of come through here, and it's up to me to sort of determine the majority of the energy and sift through what's sort of not there. And so if the majority of the energy that pulls through isn't resonating or matching your situation, circumstances, it's not your pile. Don't make it fit. If you have to resist, make it fit, or convince yourself that's not your pile. Okay, and there's no shame or no nothing in going out of that and going to a different pile. You might not hit the right pile automatically if your intuition is blocked. Okay, it doesn't mean because you click that pile that is your reading and that is your destined future. No. It's sit with that, and you should know. Sometimes messages, though, don't come through until the channeling is really turned on. So it might be a little bit, takes a while depending on the energy. Sometimes energy is covered up and it doesn't make sense till the end, and I don't intend on you wasting time staying to the end, but I can't promise you that the channeling is going to make sense right in the first few seconds, because you might miss an important message. So just use your intuition. Okay, it's either you or energy around you that is being pulled through. So this could resonate as someone or a situation that comes through, and it's you understand it to be someone you're dealing with. So that doesn't mean that it's if I say it's your energy, you don't need to attach yourself or attribute it strictly to you, just your situation. Okay, that's going to help you. And I do use the card layout in order for us to both tap into the intuition. That's very important when you're developing intuition. The cards all have meanings, and most cards will have a shadow and a light attribute. And so sometimes the shadow pulls through and sometimes the light pulls through. And most times I miss a whole bunch because it is a lot of energy. So if you want to zoom in and intuit yourself, that's actually the best way to do it. You intuit your message. Okay, I'm just sort of doing what it is that Spirit's communicating through me through way of my 5 senses. I hear it, I feel it, I sense it, I can smell it, depending on how Spirit wants it delivered. And I also obviously use the tarot and oracle or divination, sometimes domino, sometimes crystal ball, sometimes whatever method it is, sometimes nothing at all, but a download comes through. Okay, and then of course my own intuition, so that I can connect. And I do try to remove any of my sort of perspectives or my views from the reading, okay, because then I want it to really be channeling. And so if I do provide any advice, it is generally I will say if it's coming from me, but if I do provide advice, it is coming directly from guidance from Spirit, which you may or may not want to follow. Definitely up to you if you resonate. Okay, now sometimes there are very specific messages too, and that doesn't mean it's not your pile. That just means someone there needed that message in order for them to click that was for them. Okay, and so those sort of very specifics do pull through here, but It's more the overall energy in that pile should fit your situation. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's go over the cards that we'll be using here. So you can pause. Things like this. I'm sorry. Hit point press. Okay, 3D animated cards. I have on the playlist if you want to go through. Hit point press, and you'll see the card reveal with many of these decks, which are actually fabulous. I'm not pushing those decks, just in case you're curious, because they're kind of a little difficult to find. And these are the tea leaf reading cards that I can only show the book because they don't come in a box here. By Karen Dalton Smith. I don't know which one's the front, but I think it might be like this. Okay, this is the only tarot pack. The rest are oracle cards. And now for the pick. Pick number 1. You got the orange and the, oh, it was reverse. And the blue, gray, bluish gray butterflies. Take a look at that. Pile number 2, pink and purple. I just heard, oh, well, I'll save it for the reading. All right, gorgeous angels. Sit with this energy and don't second guess yourself, okay? And it's okay to be drawn to multiple, 2, or just it doesn't resonate for you, and that's fine. I'll see you at the next reading. All right, I love you very much. Click on your link to your option, and I will see you at your pick. Gorgeous angels, pile 1, you picked the blue-gray. It's more blue than gray, and the orange butterflies. Here for your pick. We're looking at what Spirit wants to tell you in regards to what it is that you deserve and why you deserve it. Okay, so you can go back to the intro to listen to that whole reasoning behind that, but I'm super excited to get into this and see what it is that Spirit is wanting to communicate to you, beautiful soul, so that you can feel this, believe this to your core, if you do resonate, of course, and then you can start to implement this passion of I deserve this. Okay, like know it's coming from Spirit and shift your beliefs towards this so that you can make the changes and actually start to believe it mentally as well as feel it in your soul. Okay, so we might have to undo some beliefs in order to, you know, implement whatever this sort of belief that is being pulled through. So we have the Tower, solid foundation, success with effort. So it's not like your typical Tower in the tarot when we pull these tea leaves, okay? But I don't take words literal. It's going to be more the energy that pulls through here. We have man, dealings or relationships with a man, masculine energy. We have Shaman of Stars, Aquarius energy. And we have the King of Swords here coming through. So this is the King of Spades. that is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, the number 30 or the number 3. So 3 is all about growth, relationships, initial success. Also Empress, which is divine feminine. So now we have masculine, feminine on the table. Okay, it's also Hangman, which is Pisces, and the World, which is a conclusion or an incubation period of closing a cycle or big chapter or big phase in life in order to move on to a new sort of phase. Okay, so we have forgiveness. Wow. Beautiful. And then we have the troll. Oh my goodness, look at this troll. I don't know if you guys can see that. So it almost looks like a mummy coming out of the swampy waters. I just heard Trevor. Does this have plastic on it? I think it does. So what are we doing? We're peeling back the mask, the filter from the troll. But the troll is still a troll. Look at that. Troll coming from the swampy waters. Okay, sorry, I'm fascinated with that. Wealthy man, 13. 13 is the death card in the tarot, which is the transformation. Interesting because we picked butterflies for the all piles, and so it's cliche, you know, with the butterfly we talk about always the transformation, but really the butterfly starts off as like an organism, you know, and then it's caterpillar, then it's the chrysalis, then like the butterfly is the final form, and it's nothing like how it, you know, was introduced to the world. This is like the world cycle that I was talking about is the final stage when the butterfly is in full beauty here, which is the massive complete transformation of self to its like highest form. And it's very liberating, and butterflies do talk about liberation here. And we have the orange and the blue, which is really giving me the sacral chakra and the throat chakra, which is expressing our most vulnerable emotions and trusting other people to connect with them on an intimate level. You know, like the sacral is really where sexual energy is housed, and our sense of creativity. So wow, and expression can come in way of communication with words, or being able to be authentic with how we take action and backing up what it is that we feel. So we have journey, number 10. Oh my goodness, Spirit's really sending this message, isn't they? Oh my goodness. Yes, I just said isn't they. Interesting. It might be your spirit team, you know, delivering this message, because so there might be a lot of ancestors here, guardian angels and spirit delivering this message today for you guys. Wow, that's beautiful. 10 is also about completion, ends of cycles, and also about transformation. So now we have the world, and we have the number 10, we have the number 13, we have the butterflies. So transformation. Oof, wow, okay. And we have money here in someone's hand. So it could be giving, receiving. Money could be connecting back to the practical pentacle world, matrix world, 3D world. Here we have the guardian, parental figure, and then the child here. And look at the child is all in the red, which is back to root chakra. And here we have the parent in the green and the blue. So we have the self-expression with the throat chakra, and the green, which is all about heart consciousness, compassion. This is the heart chakra. Okay. Wow. And we have tender embrace. Oh my God, Spirit. I don't pick these cards. Like, are you guys seeing this theme here? It's coming through so loud. So loud. Look at these two elephants. Look at these two elephants. Absolutely just loving each other with their trunk. See a lot of star energy, which is Aquarius, the wishes, and the butterflies even here. So butterflies, the transformation. 22 is a master number. And 22 is about healthy, guided relationships that are divinely guided. Okay, healthy energetic boundaries, and peacemaker, diplomacy. And twos are all about balance, duality, choices. It's also high priestess, which is intuition, justice, which is fairness and balance, and judgment, which is could be karmas, could be truths. Okay, I'm also picking up the second house, which could be tied back here to money, income, daily routines, values, material possessions, priorities, habits with the second house. Okay, and we have thunder. So thunder is coming through as Uranus energy, which is Aquarius, and tower energy, but more in line with the tarot tower. Sudden, okay, sudden with the lightning. And look at, there's arrows pointing up into the clouds. Clouds are all about confusion, not seeing clearly. But these arrows are pointing up, and then we have a lightning bolt. So Aquarius energy, tower energy, and then we have the talent. So Bob Ross Oracle, and it looks like the time says 12:08 might be a time that's important, or December 8. Has that passed? Yes, it has. Maybe August 12th might be an important date. It's painting a picture. So the talent, creativity coming from this sacral. Here we have number 50 or number 5 with all the gems and jewels. And this is giving me more of this material world, like the practical attainment of material things. But it is gems and jewels, abundance here. But 5 is about conflict, change, rebuilding. It's also Hierophant, which is lifestyle and our values, learnings, commitment. So that is Taurus energy. And then it's also Temperance, which I'm getting the 2 again. Temperance is Sagittarius, about balance and about being able to synergize with another energy in order to create something of value in a balanced way. Could be balancing self, healing self. Here we have the mermaid, made of gold, 25, or the number 7. 7's about faith, wisdom, reflection, understanding. Gold mermaid generally gives me siren energy, okay, which is like a divine feminine sort of energy that it's almost irresistible here. Fish is giving me Pisces. Okay, and we have connect with past loved ones. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Sense, feel, and reconnect. So we have deceased spirits, and then we have, sorry, wow, I'm getting pressure in my chest. And then we have what looks like mourning. A family maybe coming together, like a vigil. A vigil. This is giving me a very heavy Mexican sort of descent. So, I don't know, Spanish descent. It's kind of what's pulling through here. It might be significant for someone. And then we have the red and white rose. That's very interesting. So this is like really about, you know, the purity, and the red doesn't necessarily contaminate this rose, that like they could come together and be sort of married together, sort of like the temperance energy, in order to create, but it doesn't necessarily lose its individual sort of autonomy in some way. Wow, okay. But it's, yeah, it's like 2 independent individual things, the red and the white. And look at how synchronistic we have this tree, which is trees always talk about stability, which we got here with solid foundation. And it has these like windy, almost looks like the caduceus, like the staff with the windy, or some like serpent rising, like kundalini. And we have this here, So could be symbolic of a healing, okay, and healing stability, healing the health, healing the structure or the build of something. Okay, and then we have antimony with the wolf, and this is card number 27 or the number 9. I'm being called to read antimony for you guys, and then we have manifest. Dream deep and ask for what you want. Holy, holy, and more holy. So let's see. Let's get the one for this. Antimony 27. So it'd be right over here. It says wildness, fierceness, and hunger. In medieval times, antimony became known as the gray wolf of alchemy. This was due to the metalloid's unpredictable qualities and its ability to eat away at materials in the laboratory. Gold is one of the few materials to withstand contact with it. For these reasons, this card must be read with delicacy. On one hand, it represents the wild and free spirit that longs to express itself in the world. On the other hand, it represents a fierceness that can turn destructive or corrosive at the drop of a hat. The message here is clear. Channel the gray wolf's energy towards creativity. Challenge it to come out from the shadows and express itself. Embark on a creative project or adventure that's calling you rather than focusing on why you can't. Once you begin, don't quit. The gray wolf responds to respect, not repression. Go deeper. Read Women Who Run with the Wolves. Okay, and then let's get some, wow, 59 here. And since I have the book out, vital force, arising and awakening. In the laboratory, the merging of the red and white is an exquisite moment. It means something is coming to life before the alchemist's eyes. The pristine white of the rose is not threatened by the blood red pigment. Their mixing does not make pink. Rather, each color remains vibrantly itself, expressing its message, like the rod of the Eclippius. Oh my goodness. Yeah, see? It's not what I called it though. But okay, repressing health and vitality. Repressing. Oh my goodness. Something's repressed. Yes, okay. Representing health and vitality, which we got with the tree. The floss septium, you guys can read that, appears to signify the awakening of the physical as a gateway to the spiritual. Without the body, spiritual teachings remain conceptual, not yet integrated into the everyday. This card encourages the alchemist to honor the body as a temple each and every day, observing it, listening to it, mining it for information and guidance. At its height, this card signifies a mastery, a unity of body to serve the soul's purpose, as seen in the light of dancers, athletes, and during the birth process. Go deeper. View Rashid Johnson's Anxious Red Drawings. Okay. Okay, beautiful. You guys can certainly click on the timestamp while I sit here with this energy, and then I will be channeling what this is, okay? Oh, I didn't even tell you guys. This is Lily, and the lily represents, it could represent sexual energy, but it's really our own representation of self through understanding and experience and tenure. So the only way we can become our like truest form of self is by experiencing, and then we can connect to who we are more authentically when we're able to connect to observe rather than sort of stay in a state of program. Okay, that's not the traditional Lenormand meaning, but the lily means tenure, sensuality. Okay, so let me connect here with this energy. Okay, wow, you guys, pile number one. This is such a clear message, okay? And I really feel this is about a partnership with a soul person. Very, very, very clear how every single card here really connects to this messaging that's pulling through. So we're asking spirit about what you deserve and why it is you deserve this thing. Okay? So I feel like there's a message pulling through of what it is that you desire. And I think what you desire here is to have security and stability. And I do feel it is in regards to a partnership. And that's what you want. Okay? And I feel like Spirit is talking about you having awakened to a part of self that pulls you from your 3D version of maybe what you were used to into a more spiritually aligned individual. And the journey here is one of balancing what this looks like as an individual here for yourself, so that you don't lose yourself in a way here that stays stuck in the version that maybe you think is you, by creating um, more of that in which you're identifying as, but more of your truest form is being found when you connect with spirituality, so that you can come into greater balance with yourself. And there is you bringing in to this world a version of yourself that is capable of being balanced, healed, spiritual, and functioning in the 3D world here, to come together to work with another person that I feel has triggered either your spiritual awakening, or you're trying to really manifest this beautiful sort of partnership. Okay? And so I feel it was sudden, whatever happened to you. I feel like there's times where it's completely confusing. And so the Spirit's really pulling through this confusion. Although sudden, it's to get you to ascend. And ascension means you becoming more aligned with the greater version of yourself, your highest self, and your greatest purpose. And this means dealing with more spiritual things. Okay, and sometimes spiritual things make no sense at first. And so we're sort of pushed to dealing with things in a way here, energetically. And when we're still in the old version of self, which might be very based in going to work and doing the thing that I always did since 1991, then it's scary because it's confusing, and it might be very sudden for certain things to happen where we become very confused and not clear. So one, you're ascending because you deserve to connect to spirit here in a way that a lot of people might not get the opportunity. So you're very blessed in this opportunity for you to do this. Okay, now spirit is always connected to individuals, but when we are turned off or when we're in program, we're not necessarily conscious and awakened to our divinity. And so it keeps us in perpetual state of experiencing suffering, same things. And when we are awakened by whatever form, okay, and I do feel in this case it was a person here, okay, which one could, if we were to label it, call like a twin flame or a soul connection, a person that we feel connected to, that has woke us up to another world, another reality that never existed before. Okay, and this person is really someone from your past life. I really feel like this is a soul person here to you. And there was instant soul recognition with this person. And there's an optimal state you want to reach. And I think this optimal state is really something that you can manifest. And Spirit is saying the manifestation of this optimal point must go through a process, and the process isn't always very clear. That is the journey. And so it is one of balancing oneself in a way here that can connect and work with things in a more flow state, rather than a state that might create more resistance and tension. Okay, because when we create tension, the manifestation process might take longer and we create undue suffering. And so sometimes the mind is at odds with the heart until the balance is found. And sometimes the individuals we're dealing with are very difficult to deal with when we start to function in a way that might create more misunderstanding or chaos in the partnership. And so there is something here about you guys doing healing together to create stability in your own individual world, so that you guys are able to come together without losing self. Because when we find the truest version of self, the purest self, the conscious self, that means we've shed everything we're not. Everything we were trained to believe and programmed to believe and indoctrinated to believe falls away. And what remains is the truest self. And so, although you and your person can connect on a soul level, your person is their own sort of independent, autonomous self, and so are you. And so there's a marriage of coming together while remaining autonomous. You guys can parallel each other and move through a journey of life, but by still being able to connect in a balanced way to produce something here together. So I feel like what you're being shown here is the process of the forgiveness. And this is really key to this journey, because it isn't just extending a mindset that says I can oversee what has happened with this person, not necessarily this person, but in my life, or this person, or whatever situation, circumstance, because I'm going to be more of a spiritual, kind person and oversee the forgiveness in the situation. Okay, because that sort of a mindset will always make us feel like we're taking something out of us in order to sacrifice and compromise in a way that makes us feel like we're a part of us is being taken out. And Spirit doesn't want you to feel like you're taking anything out of you, or that you have to compromise to a level where you're feeling minimal, or where you have to give of self. This forgiveness really talks about what true forgiveness is. And that is, there really is nothing to forgive when you understand the concept from a heart. Okay, and to lay that out is when we come from a conscious, unconditional heart space, when we get to the ascended version, we look at every situation with every encounter, parents, this person, whatever, as a result of that person doing what they were supposed to do at that time, because that was their journey. And they were living out their program. They were living out their conditioning. And so we can't be who we're not. Do you know what I'm saying? And so if you were in this person's state, whatever, the father, the mother, the whatever, all these people that you encountered in your world who created suffering for you, they knew what they knew at that time, no matter what sort of level of ascension they were at, based on them being conditioned by that set of circumstances in all their lifetimes. So when we see it this way, we know that if we were to live that person's life, we would do the exact same thing. Okay? The genetics, the parents, the situation would make you react and engage in the world the same way. Culture, all of this stuff dictates. Okay? So what is there to forgive when people are just sort of playing out the conditioning in which they're supposed to be? Okay, so when we're conscious and ascended, we can see past programs and stuff. And so we just extend compassion to those who are still maybe asleep or not able to see their truest light. It's not an act really of forgiveness, because we're not having to say, well, what you did or said was okay, and so now I'm going to make myself smaller, give a part of myself. This means I'm consciously awakened to the fact that people are engaged in the way that they're engaged, and it has nothing to do with my own divinity and light, because no one can take away or contaminate that light. The only time it feels contaminated or hurt is when I start to think and perceive and put a filter on how I'm viewing the situation, that I am able to get, that my light is able to be contaminated or touched or hurt. And so I'm projecting a suffering of myself or a lack of this situation. And so that creates a state of suffering. Okay, so I feel like this takes time for you to really go through, what does forgiveness mean? And it starts with self. So we might think that we're established or healthy or understand ourselves, but the intimate self that I feel we understand here is really the mind self, which is the self that we identify with in the matrix world. And that's who we know intimately. Okay, and so this journey process is about not identifying as that version of yourself and saying you don't know yourself because you haven't connected to the true divinity and light within. And this is what you're going to connect to. And so that version of yourself is more balanced and healed. It doesn't attach to stories and identifications of anything. And so it won't create an energetic imbalance when it comes to finding an embrace or a collaboration, an integration with you and this person to create the stability and the health. But you have to come here and heal self to that degree. You have to be to that degree in order for there to be a balanced self for you to come and manifest cohesively what you're here to create. And I feel like this person that you're dealing with is very difficult for you. Very difficult. Okay, like the troll, like, oh my goodness. Okay, but again, like I say in my disclaimer, it comes through very pointed. No one's a really troll, but the troll is representing that in which I'm talking about the programming and the hurts and all that stuff that's really in the surface. And this is the version of this person that is challenging to deal with, that you might be thinking you need to forgive in a way here that is accepting that this person is this way. Okay, and Spirit is saying, no, what you're accepting is that this person is better than the state of suffering, because they have a higher self. But the truth of the matter right now is that they are in a state of living out this more troll-like action. Okay, like they are doing whatever to themselves that is harmful. They might be sabotaging. They might be very damaging to your love and this connection in some way here. Okay, but I feel like this person is also on a journey, and their journey is to go from the version of self that is challenging and difficult and is creating all sorts of havoc. And this is the person that's really, you feel, is holding sort of the key to your happiness or your ability to make something happen and manifest. And this person isn't. This person, you're just seeing with your experience this person, and so the energy is in this observer mode. And so what you're seeing is happening with this person in the 3D world. But beyond the 3D world, there is the more spiritual 5D ascended version of both of you guys. And so these are cleaned up versions without the filter of contamination of program and conditioning. And so when we get so stuck in the 3D that we see this person as the troll or as the person who's taking away from me or acting in a certain way, we're still at low level of consciousness. Okay, and nothing wrong with that. Not judging that. That's where we all start. We're at a low level of consciousness because we're still ascending and we're still becoming spiritual beings to understand on an inner soul level, what does it mean to see beyond suffering in other people? What does it mean for me to lean into my heart instead of seeing with my mind and understanding things from a conceptual, logical level? Because all of our upbringing and conditioning has been to use our mind in a way that allows us to conceptualize, which is driven by an egoic version of ourself, because the ego is how we identify with things, and the mind will constantly run on that understanding until we interject with the heart and the spirit. And so we must consciously, constantly, especially at first, get very, very involved with seeing when the mind is in auto program. It is passing judgment. It's seeing the situation from a perspective that isn't necessarily the highest perspective of spirituality, of reality. It is from our own perspective. And so it is relative to the level in which we're engaged. And so if we're in the material, if we're in the matrix, we start to connect on the matrix level, and we might have a difficult time moving to the next sort of stage, because we could perpetuate staying in that same habitual way. And the only way to break the habit is to be conscious of it and really actively identify, I'm doing a pattern, or I'm engaged in something here where my mind is saying something about this situation and it's not necessarily true. And I need to understand what it is that my mind is saying right now. Oh, this person is this. That's a judgment. Oh, I'm doing that. That's a judgment. This is what's going to happen, or this is how, like, we're creating judgments. Okay. And a judgment isn't necessarily pointing at someone and saying, you need to heal, or you have ugly shoes, or you're not very nice, or you don't know how to open up or communicate or express. That is a judgment, but that's not the type of judgment solely it falls on. Another judgment can be, I have an understanding of relationship that I am expecting because of my conditioning and programming. And so now when this person engages in a way, it makes me feel like that expectation is not being met. That's a judgment. Okay, like the judgment is us with our expectations at the end of the day, us with an understanding or an idea. That's a judgment. And so we need to look at ourselves, because anytime we're putting out there some idea and belief, it had to be manifested and created inside of us. So there's a belief understanding that we carry, and then we project it. And so this pile is for anyone who out there is dealing with someone who isn't put together in a way that can work cohesively, creating stability in a healthy way with you, that shows up as love, shows up as something that can manifest beauty and great things in this material world. What it's showing up as is difficulty and suffering and challenge, and something we're trying to overcome by extending forgiveness, because them themselves are the ones that are doing things, and I'm trying to work with them so I can move past this. It's like, no. Inside, we're creating a judgment story. And so this is all about how we connect with ourself. And we have to really, we can understand it as forgiveness at first. And then, like, the forgiveness that's, that most people believe, it's like I have to, accept that this is broken or challenged within me, that this happened. My parents were whatever, abusive, or whatever the thing is. Okay. But once we really connect to the purity and this, the spiritual self, we then even see that forgiveness process was an illusion within itself. So it doesn't even exist. There is no suffering that happened. There was an experience that happened that we engaged with. In the past, now it stays. And now there's only the present me of consciousness. The present me of consciousness is what's happening right here in front of me. It's not the way my parents did this, that, and the other. So there really isn't anything to forgive, but we might have to go through the process of reliving that experience and letting go, or making some sort of acceptance. And the acceptance really is, this person knew the best they knew with what they knew. And I knew the best I know with at that time. And I did the best that I could at that time. So I have a feeling there's certain things here that what we need to do, and this is really allowing ourselves to go back through meditation, through maybe sitting silent and asking ourselves, I might put a meditation to this, but asking ourselves, what were the happiest memories I had as a child? What's the happiest memories? And let it sort of flow. And what were the most challenging ones? And letting that flow. And if we're not prepared to do this and really meditate on this and allow the intuition to pick up what it picks up, it might be very scary what we see. Because a lot of people who have experienced suffering, they don't realize how traumatic their upbringing really is. And so they might have been very guarded and protected. And so everything seems okay. Everything was good. But really what this created was their inability to engage in the world. And so they're very anxious. They're very anxious, or it could be somebody who's experienced trauma and in a way that's been very volatile. And so they might have to sit with that for a bit and not make it about the person who created the volatileness, so to speak, but what it was that what their consciousness felt like at that time, because at that point in time is when the shutting down might have happened. Okay, so this type of stuff is what we're sort of dealing with. So it's called shadow work, reflecting on self in order to accept self and allow the parts that are hidden within us to be transmuted. So the purest version of ourselves can then engage and work and create on manifesting what I think you really want with this person. And I feel this person is in some very, very difficult state. Lots of root chakra, which could be addictions or very unhealthy patterns in this person's world. And so we might feel a really big gap, especially if we are more in tune with the spiritual side and connecting with the heart and have a better sort of conceptual way of understanding what's communication might look like or expression. Okay, but then we're judging in some way this person. And so I feel like Spirit's really saying, work on your mind heart coherence. And I have a video on that, which is bringing the mind into the heart so that the mind's not on program and thought, but really it's coming from the heart space of compassion from self, but it's not running off of the expression that we're used to, which is the self that you identified with prior to maybe your awakening in the matrix world. Because that self, if we're trying to run the show with that self, that is the false self, and it's going to express itself in a way that isn't aligned. So we have to express from the heart, because the heart is where the soul pulls through in the spirit. It never lies, and it's never expecting something from someone, and it never has a contracting energy. The heart is always open. The heart knows of receiving and giving in a way that allows things to flow. And this doesn't mean always accepting things as a yes, but accepting that I can say a healthy no here in a way that I'm not triggered or programmed or reactive to say no, but it's discerning. It's discerning. Okay, it doesn't mean all of a sudden I have to say yes to everything, but the heart doesn't really make up excuses or reasons why it's yes or no. It just knows. It's very responsive, and it comes pure from spirit. Okay, and it works with the intuition, so it either knows yes or no in the situation. There's no fear attached to it. There's no story. There's no trauma. There's no anxiety. There's no nothing. It's just yes, no, and it's coming from heart. Okay, so we have to find balance with what this looks like. And so the truth is needing to come out, and the truth is really the capital T truth, not the truth that we think or that we're identified with, because I think there's still shedding here of what we're thinking is. So this man that we're dealing with, I think, has a problem with either intimacy, communication, addictions, and I feel like both you guys are healing, and I think both you guys have to be independently understood of who you are as a healed individual, balanced in a way that can then work together in a more healing way to manifest the thing. And you're deserving of this, and this will happen for you. But this doesn't mean that only you and this person can then, I don't know, like I have to be at this purest state in order to be able to find healing. Healing happens right now. Healing's available to you right now. Okay, the healing is available to you right now. So what Spirit is saying is you deserve to be in a clear state of ascension here that isn't full of confusion, isn't full of pain, and isn't full of having to fight for or chase stability, love, and feeling welcomed. Okay, but this connection is happening on divine timing, because your person, this person that you're dealing with, also has to sort of be on their journey, which we cannot interject or control. And so we have to really be present about what is my mind saying and where's my energy at. And am I right here in this moment bringing in anything of the past here, either my childhood or an understanding I have or a belief I have, regardless if you think it's good or bad, and examine that thought, because those thoughts are getting in the way of progression and ascension. We're basing understandings and ideas based on experiences that we think are right, or stories that we're attached to and identified with being right or being who we are, and it's not. And so the divine timing is really up to you guys to get consciously aware of what is your mind saying and what is the story and how is it passing through me right now as a judgment of this situation, as a conceptual understanding I'm having, and I'm projecting it into this experience that's not true, because we really don't know. So you're really creating and manifesting right now, and I don't think you realize what you're manifesting, but look at your state right now. Okay, so Spirit is saying if your state isn't ideal and optimal, it's because you've created and you manifested that. It's not Spirit bringing this to you because it wants you to suffer. Spirit is saying you're deserving of the greatest manifestation that you could possibly dream. Your wish, your star. It's already there. It's already happened. This connection's already together. It's already committed, grounded, healthy, balanced, healed. You guys are two beautiful beings coming together. Okay, and you guys balance each other out. You guys don't codependently sort of mix here. And this is the purest state of pure love here. And you can bring in this beautiful spiritual energy from the ethers to the 3D, which is what we need here on New Earth in order to raise consciousness, is bring in the manifestation from spirituality and get it grounded here. Okay, get it grounded, create it here. This takes time, but Spirit is saying time is just an illusion of the 3D version of us. And so the reason why we're sort of thinking it's going to happen in some due time is because we're still connected to some 3D. So if we already understand that it has happened already, but the reason my outer world here is manifesting in a way that isn't congruent or aligned, or this person's still acting like a brat or creating suffering for me, it's because there's some internal thing right now that I'm connected to and identified with in the matrix world that is being projected onto this situation with this person specifically. And I could either keep that alive, or I can intervene right now and really see what that is that I'm interjecting here. Okay, because yes, this person is acting in a certain way for sure, but I feel like they're acting in a certain way because this is what we're manifesting. And I know it's difficult to wrap our mind around, how can I then be the responsible one for how this person's engaged? No, we're responsible for the energy in which is in front of us that we manifest. People, places, things, we're responsible. And so when we start to see and engage in the world differently, then the world starts to behave differently. And we pull out the things we want to see in the world. And this is why it's very important to always pull out from love and compassion, not to pull from sadness and scarcity and loss and separation. So if we're always seeing the love in the moment, what is the most loving thing here? This person's trolling or whatever they're doing. We might think they're trolling us. We might think they're not. I don't know. But Spirit is saying, yeah, some of you guys think this person's either not doing the work or resisting or whatever, and it's like, okay, but the more we think that, the more they're going to be doing that. So we got to not project what we think they're doing or make up a story about how they are or what they will do and what they won't do and how soon they'll do it and how soon they won't, and whether they have a highest version or whether they'll stay in the 3D or whether they're going to be this or going to be that, like all of that stuff. So what we're going to do is really understand that right now my energy is what's manifesting in front of me. And Spirit's really telling you, if you resonate with this message, this person is your soul person here that's supposed to come together. And they're having to do whatever they have to do that aligns. The moment you pull out what is most loving, loving is truth. Loving doesn't mean always saying yes and feeling like a martyr or sacrificing myself from that space. Love is compassion, to accept people and understand they are where they're at. And I don't compromise parts of myself in order to appease or play small or do anything other than lean into what I need to. And so there is a creation that you're supposed to be focused on as an outlet. I don't know what this is, but when we awaken like this, our manifestations, we get very powered in how we can manifest, okay? Because we're now tied to our intuition, to spirit. And so I feel like you don't know right now how strong your manifestation skills are and how strong your creative energy is. I feel like there's some creative outlet that's going to be very therapeutic for you, that you can really focus on and be authentically committed and let your energy flow towards this, and trust that this person is going to come into whatever they need to do here in order for them to align with you, because you guys are tied. There is no way to untie yourself from this soul connection with this person. Okay, you guys are doing this dance, this journey, this coming together, this balance, this union, and it will come together. Okay, but really what's happening here is we need to find the outlet in which we're using our current energy to manifest. And if there's any negative energy we feel, sad, jealous, angry, upset, lack, separated from the person, sadness, alone, those are all of the mind. So we need to be very, very conscious. Am I in the mind? This is a judgment. This is a projection. This is an understanding I'm carrying. And right now, I'm going to manifest out of that. And I don't want that. So what is the thing I could be grateful for? What is the love I could show right now? What is it that I can turn back to myself so I can connect with the divine right now? Because the divine loves me. And when I connect with the divine, I'm connected with everyone and everything, including my person. And so there I find peace. There I can find a warm embrace from my person and the divine. And now I feel whole and complete. I don't feel separated. I don't feel sad, because the more I connect to that sweet spot, the more I start to see the great truth, and the more of my false self falls away, and the illusion that there is separation between you and everyone and everything. It's all an illusion. Time's an illusion. Separation's an illusion. Okay, the universe is consciousness and it's infinite. And so that means everything at once. And so everything that manifests in the material world is consciousness creating and deconstructing, creating, deconstructing people, things, situations that occur and then disappear, occur and disappear, are born and then die. But behind it is consciousness. And everyone is tied to this consciousness of the creator. Okay, but you and your person share a soul tie here and many past lives. And I feel for some of you guys, well, 8 at least, but I feel like it's interesting that 8 came out. And I'm even seeing the 8 here, because what that means is it never had a beginning and it never had an end. And it is eternal. And that is divine. And that is creator. And that's the infinite. There is no beginning and there's no end. And so when we connect with body and 3D, we're making ourselves finite, which means I'm connected to the body experiencing something. And so we're not finite. We don't have a beginning and an end. Okay, and you know this is true because your energy. We might not remember because of the veil of forgetting when we're born, but we know that the energy has come into this earth in one form. whatever form it may be, and that it will eventually turn into another form. Okay? So this is what the Spirit is showing. So what do you deserve? You deserve to have a tender embrace, be understood, create the health of a stable connection, heal, work together with someone without losing self, but from the purest state of who you can be, which is the highest state of consciousness, so that you can manifest. And not just manifest in this 5D spiritual way of having unity consciousness and being tied with divine and everything and everyone, even though that is very blissful, but also bringing it back down into the 3D, because you're deserving of touching, feeling, and the physical as well. But we're not going to create the physical until we're completely in an energy that works with the 5D spiritual side and dissolves what doesn't need to be there. Because if we start to get all this 3D stuff, we still haven't done any healing on the back end. And so there was no ascension. That was just Spirit handing you this person or that manifestation. And why doesn't Spirit do this? Because there's still traumas and things that need to burn off. There's still the purest self. Look, the white wolf, the white rose, the white lilies, even the troll is looking white. So the purest self is consciousness, the self that we were when we were born, without anyone telling us anything or training us or, instilling us with anything. What did that feel like? What did that consciousness feel like? That's who you are. You're not your name, you're not your gender, you're not your experience, you're none of those things. And so if you're tied to it in a way, that doesn't mean you have to run away from it. That just means don't identify with that and know you're more than that. You're that awareness, you're the being behind the awareness. Okay, your essence is behind that awareness. And so as you observe what you're seeing here, just know that you're that observer. You're not that in which is the body that's being manifested and unmanifest, manifest and unmanifest. You're not that. You're the creator that is doing the manifestation of that thing, the body. Okay, so your person's pulled to you. They're not going to run away and you're never going to see them again. There's nothing in the material world you're supposed to be doing in that way that's going to make the stability or the health that you think. Okay, they're pulled to you in a way because I feel like the divine feminine here is leading and the masculine is following. So when she heals, when she ascends, when she purifies, the divine masculine and the soul connection is doing the exact same thing. And so both are doing this dance. But she needs to get there in a way here that is focused on the thing that she needs to focus on. So the outlet is the creative thing that she could connect to, because she deserves to be fulfilled, knowing that there is no wait period, really, that everything is already happening. So she could connect to this right away, the minute the illusion falls away, because she's the one keeping up the illusion that he's doing all sorts of things here that she has to overcome or has to do, and she doesn't. And the only reason why I was talking about the childhood trauma thing is because we only do this to remove the illusion. If we already know that there's an illusion and a belief that we carry that isn't real, we can just make it go away. But it's not that easy to make it go away, right? We have to do investigation sometimes and do the shadow work or the inner child healing. So that's why sometimes, when we talk about twin flames, it's like inner child healing, all this energy work, like it sounds like a lot. But really, at the end of the day, we don't have to do any of that because none of that exists. You're already a pure conscious being. There is no trauma. There is no distorted energies. There's only you living in that or not living in that. And it's up to you. And Spirit is saying you deserve to not be in distortion and suffering and pain and having to extend parts of yourself that you think you're giving away or having to bend and do. You deserve all fine things here. Okay? And Spirit wants you to connect with your purest self. And your purest self has nothing to really do with who this person is and what they're doing. You're autonomous from that person and they're autonomous from you. but together there's a soul recognition that when you guys come together, you create beautiful magic here. That's an expression of only your connection that can only come together through healing to manifest in the 3D, the thing. Okay? And so I feel like you did pick somebody here who is very high level, and they might be capped right now with the work that they're doing. And Spirit is saying, it's okay. They're also needing to transform. Focus on yourself, what you can create. The journey is happening. Whether they move or not, it is going to be something that's really dictated by your own energy, by your compassion, by your expression. Whether they can express compassion or not themselves, it's okay. And only when we connect, we could say it because we want to give love, not because we want to receive it in return. Because love doesn't have any expectations. I'm going to give love because I feel it in this moment. I'm going to express this because it's true how I'm feeling here. Okay, and so they are getting on that train because you're pulling them energetically. They can't miss the train. They won't miss the train. And maybe you needed to hear this, okay? There is something very destined with you guys coming together, this creation. And Spirit wants this to happen for you. And this is what you deserve. And why you deserve it is because everyone deserves to experience their purest self. But I feel like Spirit's really saying you've been given this sudden wake up, push up in this direction, which might seem more torturous than a blessing. But once we switch how we see it, that it is a blessing, and we're grateful for this opportunity, and we see the love that we can now pull from this, from ourselves, completely differently, then we start to manifest more and more and more in this beautiful 3D, and we start to see the healing and the cogs within this person for them to become the best version of themselves. And so maybe they're starting off as a troll, I don't know why it's troll. Maybe this means something to you guys. I'm going to pull some tarot quickly, but I do feel your reading is complete. To this wealthy, and I feel the wealth is really what we would dictate as spiritual wealth, so that we can manifest. Because what good is spiritual wealth if we're living, I don't know, as a poor man, or we can't manifest the good things? And so the balance here is spiritually wealthy so I can become 3D wealthy. I feel like really your person's coming through with the red root chakra, and really what that's telling me is that this person has a difficult time manifesting good things, because I think they are challenged, focusing on what they don't have or what they can't create, or low confidence, or sticking to addiction, sabotage, those types of things. And they're in some sort of trap. And I don't think this person feels good about how they're engaged with you. Not because they're trying to bring you to their level, but because they feel trapped and stuck themselves, not being able to understand what they need to do and their value. And so, but love always wins. God always wins. And so when we know this, your person will get on that train to follow you. But if you're stagnant and stopped and manifesting from the pain and the sorrow and the suffering and the separation and the scarcity, this train just keeps sort of staying stagnant in some way, like they're not getting on. There's nowhere to move because you're not moving. So they're in your energy doing what they are stagnant. But the minute you start to ascend into greater awareness of consciousness of self, they're so pulled by this. They have to be. It's a soul contract. It's a soul tie. They get on that train and they follow you. So the sky's the limit. What do you want to manifest with this person? Because there's a tie here, okay? And this really provides healing to this person. So let's take a look. I really want to see what's with this troll. Spirit, why are we seeing this troll? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1. Thank you so much, pile 1, for allowing you to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed. Spirit, what's with this troll for pile 1? 6 cups. That's this. Soul tie, soulmate, soul connection. This is also appreciation and showing reconciliation. This is also inner child, which we talked about with the 6 cups. Okay, and so this is a person, place, a thing of the past. We've been connected by the soul. So why are they a troll? I feel like no matter how trolly this person is, okay, still don't know why it came troll, maybe because of the deck I used, but no matter how trolly they are, there is the light behind, which I was talking about. So all of the distortions that they're engaged with in the matrix, the unhealthy self, and the self that doesn't know how to express, and the self that's withdrawn, and the self that's self-sabotage, all of those selves doesn't really matter so much as the light behind that, because that's the true reality of who this person is that you're connecting with, the soul connection. Okay, so we need to understand this person has to connect to their inner child as well in order to become that beautiful light. Okay, so I think some of you guys might think this person is trolling you or playing with you, or yeah, like doing something here, and so you can't trust them. Spirit's saying no, they're not doing something here to be in an energy to create torment to you, and so therefore, you know, you have your guards up, like, should I trust them? I don't want to be taken advantage of. Maybe they're just trying to get, you know, the milk for free without whatever. It's like, no. But if they are getting milk for free, it's because you are still in lower consciousness here. So raise your consciousness, person raises their consciousness. Okay, High Priestess, yes, all about this spiritual journey, all about connecting with the intuition. The intuition is never led by fear. Intuition is pure consciousness. It has no rhyme or reason why it's the intuition. It doesn't come from a logic understanding of an experience. And so we don't need to put stories to it. It just flows through us so we can make right decisions. Okay, Pisces energy. There's the moon. We got to get out of fear, and we got to understand what's going on in the subconscious. Cancer, Pisces. There's the Queen of Cups. More Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Compassion, heart space, creativity, manifestation. Very beautiful energy. There's the Devil, coming out of bondage, coming out of the identification we have to the 3D world, coming out of the unhealthy patterns that keep me stuck in a lower state of consciousness, the subconscious that I believe to be true. I need to break the chains. It doesn't exist. It's an illusion. And so it creates the reality, and it's really being driven by fear-based love. I need to attach, attain, because I feel I might lose out. I feel only whole when I have the material version. That's an illusion we create, and then we start to act out of fear. We start to do things and chase and attach ourselves. And Spirit's saying what's really in the subconscious here is the truth, because that's the light. So we need to detach from the illusion, detach from the chains we have to the stories and the judgments. Okay, and how do we do this? We really connect with the intuition, and look at this body language, exactly the same, extending. So we give of ourselves from a place of the heart, full of compassion, intuition, and creativity. So I do feel Spirit wants you to focus on a creative pursuit that comes to you through your intuition, and it flows beautiful in order for you then to be able to receive. But it comes from within. It only comes from within at first. So you're creating the manifestation out there based on the energy you're putting out. This is doing the work, 8 Pentacles, being committed, dedicated, and consistent. So we can't just have a meditation session and focus on something one day and expect things to be completely changed. We have to be committed in our everyday catalysts, how we show up, how are we engaged, what is my thought right now, what action and pattern is coming out in me right now. The pattern that I'm doing right now is going to create my world. So we have to be very diligent in seeing where we're bound to certain ideas that are keeping us stuck in the same perpetual suffering. 2 Cups, balance, union, right on top of this. Connect with the past ones, which I was saying was the lover, we connected with the soul bond. Okay, this is also indicative of soulmates, connected. Okay, we see the Lion, which is courage to face shadows, fears, certain things here in order to find harmony and balance. Wow, Temperance, which we also felt. So you guys are meant to come together, but you need to be of substance in a way that will contribute to the overall creation in a substantial way. Because if we're in one energy that's lower based consciousness of suffering, pain, projection, and judgment, all we create with another is at that level. So when we are rising and ascending in a way that is pure consciousness, it's pure, it's love, and it's aligned with a greater truth, then we create from that place. And your person is wanting to create in this way, their highest self, because that's the soul bond tie. So you're worthy of coming together to create and manifest with this person here in the 3D. Okay, worthy, deserving. It will happen, but we need to heal and we need to be balanced. And this is about the right on top of this card, balancing self. Extending my consciousness to the point where I'm autonomous from this person and everything else, because it's my own truest version of self. And then ironically, that's when we connect with everyone and everything, because everything else fell away, all the illusions and stories and identifications and judgments. So now I'm this pure state of consciousness, higher awareness, and now I can see everyone and everything from a different perspective, and not be triggered and not be traumatized, and find peace and bliss and feel the divinity behind them. And I'm connected to that, you know? So you're healing, you're finding balance with this person, in harmony, balance, okay? From a heart place, from an intuitive place, not from a material matrix place of unhealthy patterns, stories, beliefs, identifications that we tell ourselves, because that's driven from fear. And fear had to be somewhere in the subconscious, some story that we believe in the shadow that needs to come to the surface. And I do believe it's through a childhood memory or some form of something we need to accept. You know, it says forgive. And like I said, forgiveness doesn't really exist. There's nothing to forgive. It's just the journey experience. And so as we see it that way, but we might need to process it, you know, process it as a forgiveness. Cry the cry. Feel the feelings, let go of the thing, understand the reasoning I do what I do. Why do I feel like someone's going to hurt me or be a troll, or I can't trust them, or I got to test them, or I can't be my truest self without doing some funny business? No funny business. Right here in the moment. Do I want to say I love you? Do I want to express whatever I want to express? I'm not sort of cautious, guarded, you know, defensive. I don't know, whatever you're doing. But there's another version here of you that's actually you. Okay, beautiful pile number 1. You're deserving of it. Sorry for the long reading. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, gorgeous angels. Pile number 2. You guys picked the pink purple butterfly. We're looking at what it is that you absolutely deserve and why you deserve it. And like I mentioned in the intro, this is for you to really believe it and inner feel it, not just conceptually sort of understand, yeah, I'm deserving of the best or this, that, and the other. But if we don't believe it to our core, then we don't live it. And so this messaging is coming through from Spirit for you to really, really sit with this understanding of what it is you deserve, why you deserve it. Okay, so that you can really feel that energy and start to shift your reality from a place of understanding in your soul, not just in your mind of what you're deserving of here. Okay, so let's take a look. So we have new beginnings. From chaos comes calm. Wow, beautiful. And we have the money path. I was going to say the moon path. A path with money is waiting for you to find it. So we don't take words so literal here, although I am getting pentacle, wealth, whatever wealth means to you, angel, spiritual guidance, protection from harm. Wow. And we have ancestor of tribes. So your ancestors really pulling through here. Wow. We have the 7 of clubs, which is 7 wands, card number 23 or 5. 5 is all about conflict and challenge, but it's also about rebuild, which is new beginning. And here we see the mice or the rats. Rats could be something that is sort of an annoyance or an erosion of something that's over time might erode. Choice. So you see the 2. 2 is about choice. Decision. And here we have succubus. Wow, look at that card. Succubus. I think a succubus is a female version of what, a soul sucker? A succubus. Looks kind of like a bat devil. So I'm getting Scorpio and Capricorn energy from that succubus. And then we have the courthouse, 23. So look at that. 2323, angel number. You might want to look that up. So courthouse could be something official. Some form of official communication or official documents or something official here. Here we have the fireplace. It looks like the family room, so comfort. Yeah, and fire. Fire is Aries, Leo, Sag. Here we have the silhouette, the shadow self. Maybe many layers of dimensions here. The causal self, the great causal self. Okay. And we have Great Big Love with number 26 or number 8. Wow, Great Big Love. And number 3 with Time Machine. And the nostalgic card of Fun Cereals. And we have the nostalgic card of the mixtapes. And we have Bob Ross's The Drill Sergeant. And we have the Mask 24. All we're missing is 25, but we have some form of succession, 23, 24, 26. And we have Balance Yourself, Direction, Growth, Life Stages. More butterfly energy. And we have Courage, Strength, Fearlessness, and Warrior. Warrior right beside Drill Sergeant. And we have Sugar 31, or the number 4. 4 is about structure and foundation. It's also Emperor energy, Divine Masculine, Aries energy. And we have the Oil of Vitriol, number 35, or number 8. So this is a challenging card because it might be spewing with sort of a venom or projecting or reacting out of pains or traumas or shadow. What we say, you know, might be very reactive in some way, or we might have had a falling out or a disagreement with something. And then we have Sulfur, a breakthrough, something may be really stuffed down or blocked and needing for it to be fully released in some way here through a painful process potentially, or something we might not want to do. 29, or the number 11. Okay, let me channel this energy. You guys can click on, making sure we're in balance. Click on the timestamp to get you to where you need to go. Okay, people, hopefully this becomes more clear as I go, because it's not 100% very clear just yet, okay? But I feel like maybe you feel like you're not deserving of something that is absolutely for you, because you might not see it in yourself in the way that allows you to go after something here that I feel is for you. And so you might be either telling yourself you're not good enough for it, or connecting yourself with unhealthy things, or distracting yourself from what it is that really is aligned and speaks to your heart. And so I feel like you have a choice to do this. And I think we sabotage in a way here that falls back on the comfort we know that might be a little destructive. And the thing we might be choosing might feel good in the moment, or it's a comfort of something we're used to. And we're engaged in that. And I think we're in a program in some way. So maybe you're aware of it, but I think you understand that afterwards it doesn't feel good. And so, but we perpetuate the same sort of state. And Spirit is really saying that you're acting out a version of yourself that isn't authentically you right now. If you are choosing the habitual pattern or the immediate gratification of something that isn't fully fulfilling to you in this moment, because there is something fully fulfilling for you that exists right now. Okay, and this will bring a lot more balance into your world, but you are capable of choosing that because it's in front of you, and I think you want it, so you'll probably know what it is right away, because there is a vision of a wish of a future version of you that I think you see or you idolize in some way of a being that you could be, but I don't think you believe it yourself that you could be that person, you know, or maybe you just keep off putting it into the future. off-putting it, and Spirit's saying, it's not going to happen for you in a way here that's just, you're going to turn into that person. You have to choose that person today. And that person will appear, the version of yourself. Because I think we're lacking some courage in facing the thing that's really going to get us there. And so every day as we keep choosing the immediate gratification or the overindulgence of the thing that makes us feel like shit, or the avoidance rather than choosing the facing of the thing, we erode at our confidence, and we erode at the version of us that isn't really going to do it for us, and it makes us feel worse. And so the longer we sort of feed that version of us and make that choice, then it's very draining, and it gets very challenging. And so I feel like there's a beautiful version of yourself here that is more of a cleaned up version of you that wants to come through as a breakthrough here. Okay, but I feel like there's a resistance to this that might be deep within the shadow part of self here that needs to really be looked at. And however you're reacting to, I think it's really towards the thing you want, and how you're responding to it by your day in, day out, is you responding to the universe, to this thing. And I think you're resisting it subconsciously or in way of action. And you might think you're bringing it in, or you might think, I don't know what you think, but I feel like whatever you're doing to in energy wise, it's actually keeping that thing at a distance. It's actually making space between you and that thing that you want, because of the choice you're making. And the choice you're making is leaning in this more sabotagey way because you feel you deserve to suffer some more, or you deserve to choose the thing that isn't really the fullest, more deepest version of you. It's more superficial, and it maybe scratches an itch that you might feel, but it's very temporary and it's not deep and fulfilling. And then eventually the itch comes again, and we just keep choosing it in some sort of way. I feel like there's a self-speak and a story that we're identifying with. And I feel like it could have come from an authority figure, a parental figure, of a version of who we were told we had to be and do, or an understanding of what does success look like, or what would this version of the I don't know, the more idealistic version of a successful being be. And so we carry it and we repeat it, and it's like, I can't even see myself reaching that or do that or be that. So I'm already discouraged. And over time, that mixtape, that voice, that parental figure, or just our inner critic, keeps coming through, the inner critic, and it's eroding our confidence, and it's eroding the energy that we could choose today. And the choice today is, I'm nothing of that sort that is tainted or beat or, has to be or do anything. And so I feel like you don't need to indulge and ingest that sort of mind speak or communication or understanding or identification at all. Because I feel like there's something for you here that you're totally deserving of, that you already know what it is, that touches your heart. You're already liberated to go there. It's not a distant future version of yourself. You can get exactly where it is you're supposed to be, okay? Like, you have this control here. But I feel like this is talking about even the past version of you is really dictating right now in the energy you're in, the future state of you, because of how you are in the present. So I'll say that again. The past version of you is something that is eroding your confidence because of how it's developed and conditioned you. And you're carrying that energy in your present moment. And the more you carry the present moment energy that you do right now, it's manifesting in the future version of you. And the future version of you is more of this present moment version of you, which is stuck in some not getting fulfillment of what you absolutely deserve, because I think you're choosing to stay in the belief of the story of what it was that the inner critic is telling you, or the story of the past told you. And so we keep feeding ourselves that understanding, that belief, and that story, and that version, and we're stuck here, and slowly but surely our life is being sucked away. And so I feel like you deserve the new beginning. And Spirit wants you to know the new beginning is already here. It's your choice. You make that choice. And so whatever wealth is to you here in the 3D world, more money, a loving partner, a more successful job, a better cleaned up version of me, someone who has more energy, or somebody who is no longer choosing to be in suffering. That's already for you. You're being guided to do this. And so I think this is why you're here. If you're drawn to this pile, you're getting pulled with sign, symbol, synchronicities, everyday things that are really your angels and your spirit guides. And I think you're overcoming heavy ancestral traumas, wounds, things that are patterns and repeats of past ancestral things that you're carrying in order to break the chains, to make the difference of the past into reality here, to free yourself. Okay? And so I feel like the mask we're wearing today is one of a self-speak that isn't helping you. And so we have to interject. What is that on autoplay telling me? What is the inner critic saying I have to do or be? Because you might be also choosing something here that might be very cleaned up. And it's like, no, like maybe Spirit wants you to let loose a bit. I don't know which one you're falling on, okay? But whatever structure you're falling into isn't really aligned with who you are. And so I feel like we're needing to face, to be different than how we normally are in the present moment, so that the change can happen in the future. And we balance ourselves by not maybe doubling down in the sabotage of fuck it, because I already chose wrong, so I might as well keep choosing wrong. Okay, because every present moment is a new opportunity to make a different choice. Always. The choice is always yours in this present moment. What do you want to choose? And if we get hung up with what I chose in the past or before and beat ourselves up, then we stay in a cycle. And we don't need that, because every present moment is a brand new moment. Brand new moment has nothing to do with the past and what you chose and what you said and what you did. So if we kept choosing the whatever, we're coming to balance. And we realize we're consciously aware of what we're deciding to do. And so you are in a position to win here with the 7 wands, because you're destined here to overcome this ancestral trauma or thing that you're having to break. And your guides, your angel guides and spirit are really saying you're protected from the harm in which you might be feeling trapped in, or creating, or feels like it's getting to you in some way here. You're not victim to that. And so don't start to believe that. Okay? And so our external world is going to be reflected based on our current energy. And if we're in reactive state, and so we're traumatized or triggered, or start to listen to the inner critic or the parent or the thing that's repeating, it starts to come out of us in a way that doesn't help the external world. It's pushing it away. So we respond in certain ways, or we reject in certain ways, or we come across in a certain way that isn't aligned with what you deserve. And what you deserve is a manifestation of something absolutely beautiful. Okay, but we need to find a good balance, because I mean, sugar's sweet and delightful. You have too much of it and you have a stomach ache, and it's not good for you. And so the balance here is finding that sweet spot. Okay, and I feel the sweet spot too is a balance of who you are. But with the time machine, I'm getting a lot of past and future. And really all that matters is the present moment. So if we're thinking about what's happened in the past, we're living in the past, we're out of balance. The past happened, we have an experience, and that's it. It doesn't dictate who you are, doesn't dictate your future, it won't even dictate your present moment, unless you're the one still attached to the past. So I feel like there's an attachment to the past story, experience, and then we're projecting it into who we are today. And for some of you guys, there's a projection into the future of what I need to be and what I need to do. And that's also a projection, because that means we're not living in the present moment. So we're in the past or we're in the future. everywhere but where we need to be. And so Spirit's saying, the only way we can get balance is to be in the present moment. We have to detach from the mind speak and the story and the thing. We have to be very cautious of what we're digesting, ingesting in a way of people, voices, ourself, social media, food, things, whatever your thing is that's keeping you in a state of suffering here. Okay? And so you got to make the active choice and align yourself with this. So you're destined for a new beginning. There's a version of you that wants to be reborn. And I feel like why we experience this kind of suffering here is in order for us to understand, ourselves a lot better. So injustice with the justice in reverse, Libra energy, strength in reverse. So that's the strength. Leo energy, Libra energy, 3 pentacles and 2 cups. And under that's the devil. Yeah, beautiful people. We have to break the chains of the unhealthy habits and ways of being, and we have to see through the illusion that doesn't exist with the devil, Capricorn energy, in order for us to come into balance. So is it the relationship we want? Do we want to flow with other people? Do we want to create harmony instead of resistance and imbalances in our world and in our relationships? Relationship to everything. Okay, you're in relationship to food, people, yourself, how you speak with yourself. That's all relationship. So how are you connecting? I think Spirit is saying you deserve harmony and balance with all relationship in your world. You deserve for people to want to work with you, for you to manifest and create whatever you want. This is coming together to create. Okay, but what we need to do is we need to become balanced and be your own advocate. And what does this balance be? And bring justice to ourselves in way of choice and action, and not lean into the injustices or think that the balance is sort of external or being dictated to us. And how we do this is leaning into the courage to face what we need to, not give in to the fear, not be held back and bottled and repressed and living in the past or because of the peer experience of the past. And now it's dictating how I can move forward because I have a lot of fear. So I'm held back or playing little or too afraid to face the thing, to make the choice, to do the thing, whatever the thing is. Okay, so I run away or I'm cowardly or I end up doing the easy choice, which is, the immediate gratification thing or the thing that I'm used to. Because now that little voice comes back, the voice that I always heard, you're not good enough, you can't do this, you can't, that's the devil. I'm not smart enough, good enough, I don't know. I have unhealthy way of connecting with the thing that I really want because of the voice that's untrue right now that's playing on my mind. And so it gets in the way of you manifesting and working with other people or a creation, that's you and something, someone, an entity, to create the synergy of the manifestation of what's meant for you in this lifetime, that your ancestors are saying you're meant to do, that you're being guided to do. And it's beautiful. Okay, you're deserving of this. So you're the one with the key. Are we running away and blocking and cowardly and resisting and reactionary? Or are we really being present of where the devil is holding us back? And the unhealthy patterns and choices we're making are making us imbalanced. Because you can't say to the universe, I really want this. It means this, that, and the other for me. But in the moment, I'm just going to choose to listen to the voice. I'm going to just choose to let the rats eat away at my confidence here by keeping that thing alive. Then you're choosing, you're self-sabotaging. You don't want this then, do you? Because if you do, now if you aren't aware of that voice, then that's what Spirit's bringing to your attention. You might not be aware of the inner critic, but the inner critic over time is what's creating that version of you that I don't think is you. Well, I know it's not you. And so, but for some of you guys, it's like you already know it's there and you're just, coming to tarot readings, seeing this vision, hoping it comes to you in a silver platter. It's going to come to you to manifest. You're deserving of it when you tell the universe, I choose this. I hear that voice. That's not right. It's the past person or the past thing or the past experience that's replaying, and it's only an illusion. It's bonded. It's bonding me to some experience that's no longer alive. Why do I keep it alive? Why do I let it restrict me? Okay, so this is what you're deserving of. You're deserving of a 2 cups, harmony, balance, relationship, connection on a very healthy sort of mutual flow of give and receive so that you can create and manifest. It's beautiful without resistance, anger, and all that stuff. Okay, so beautiful pal too. This is your reading. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, hello, gorgeous angels. Pile number 3. You guys picked this butterfly. Looks like a leopard butterfly. Something very wild about this. Beautiful. Okay, so what are we looking at? We're going to look at what it is that you truly deserve, what Spirit wants you to know, and why it is that you deserve what you deserve. Okay, so let this become a message for you to instill in a belief in you so that you can live and see and manifest what it is you deserve. Because if we know it on an intellectual, sort of more conceptual level, it still won't manifest. We have to believe it. And in order to believe, we have to undo beliefs that exist within us that aren't true, because that's what's creating a reality. So this is something Spirit wants you to know. You're more than deserving, and why it is you're deserving. And so you really have to buy this as an inner core belief. Feel it to your soul so you can manifest this thing, okay? Whatever this thing is that you really deserve. Okay, so let's take a look. We have navigate. Beacons of light in the night sky are there to guide you. Wow. We have boat. Money or property through an inheritance, winning, or windfall. And we don't take words very literal. We're looking at energy here, okay? So we have star, guaranteed success. Oh my goodness. And scissors, disappointment in some affair. Okay, and then we have dancer of promise. And we have the, what is this? 9 of diamonds, which is 9 pentacles. Wow, 9 pentacles is this sort of success, confidence, wealth. Okay, and then the number 8 is all about movement, change, movement with the boat. And then the coffin is all about death, and where there's death, there's rebirth. So transformation potentially, but something might be abrupt and coming to an end. So I'm getting Scorpio energy with that. Ingenuity. So creative energy, thinking outside the box. I'm getting Aquarius energy. So we have night hag. Look at that. Night hag. So night could be symbolizing the shadow or being in the dark about something. The hag could be representing something maybe ugly, you know, but hags are feminine energies. So we have the official person, 22. 22 is a master number. Peacemaker, diplomacy, healthy energetic boundaries, and divinely guided relationships. We have the mirror, hand mirror. So we were getting sort of the shadow self or something needing to be seen. It could be something within self here if we have the mirror. Shadow work. This person's holding their mouth, maybe surprised or maybe being silenced in some way. Okay. And then we have body and soul, number 5, with the dragonfly. Dragonflies are all about seeing through an illusion, but dragonfly also is about transformation, like the butterfly. So we have the lily and the lotus flower. I always say that. Lotus flower. Lotus flowers are created in the gunk, and they bloom into a beautiful thing. So it could be from a challenging situation to bloom. 5 is about conflict, loss, change, rebuild. And we have the armadillo as an animal. So armadillos have the protective shell, and it says LOL, LOL. So laughing shell or guardedness here. Maybe humor is a way of guarding ourselves in some way with the armadillo. We have the crooked tree. So trees are all about stability. But a barren tree could mean that the health of something might not be at its full capacity. Might be very barren here, not producing any fruit. Okay, and then we have the tent. Tent is about something that is very transient, temporary. You know, it could be something more flexible, but maybe something that isn't solid because it's more temporary. So 37, or the number 10. 10's about completion, ends of cycles, and transformation. So here we have another butterfly. Wow. Transformation, completions. Here we have the cat, 9. So we were getting 9 pentacles. 9 is about fulfillment, completion, fruition. There's no fruit here. The cat could be more of a independent type energy here. That might be a little bit temperamental. And we have shine brightly, stand out, be proud, individuality. We were getting individuality with the cat. Shine brightly, star. Look at that. We have fog, 39, or the number 12. And we have copper, 23, which is number 5, which we had with this one here. Okay, so you can click straight away on the channeling. Let me get into your reading. Beautiful pile number 3. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, gorgeous angels. Pile number 3. I love you guys so much. When you guys get rich and famous, don't forget about me. You guys are destined to be seen, like really in the limelight. Whether you like the limelight or not, there's something inside you that's going to be recognized, you know, and I think it needs to come out, and it's going to come out or has already been sort of on the go here of something. And you're going to be very, very successful as a result of this, whether you want it or not, whether you're materialistic or not, whether you want whatever, it's going to come because it comes with the territory. You're being navigated and highly protected towards this process of what your purpose and the true calling of yours to deliver to the world. Okay, you're being guided in that direction. And so some of you guys might still be early, and some of you guys might be midway through this journey. But I feel like we're learning about what this journey looks like. And so at times it could be challenging because I might have to cut out certain people and certain things. And specifically, a part of our past that is no longer going to serve or weigh us down. And that's challenging, you know, because we might have developed good friendships or certain things. And so as we go through, it might feel not good at times, you know, but Spirit is assuring. Sometimes we can't see, sometimes we have to cut off, and sometimes we have to be whatever energy we're in order for us to move towards the delivery of this beautiful star energy that you're about to encompass here once everything sort of gets you to where you need to go. So if you're struggling right now, if it's not paying you as much as you want, if it's not producing the people around you or the business or the clientele list or the end vision that you see, or you feel like you're not producing the outcomes for the people or the business, this is temporary. The transformation takes time. You are going to be fully liberated because I think you're going to achieve beyond a reasonable doubt more than what it is you're expecting to attain here in this beautiful experience. And I feel like it's really being seen by the world. And I feel you're going to be either a guru or somebody who is like official in that area, like the person known for that thing, which is huge, you know, that thing, whatever that thing is, because I think it's very specific to you. It can't be reproduced. It can't be recreated in a way here that has as much impact or punch as it when it comes from you, or you're the creator, the pioneer of this thing. And so I feel like if you're giving birth to this thing and you're going through an ugly period of time because you're not seeing it just yet. And so as we navigate and figure it all out, it's dark. It could be scary. We're not quite sure where we're going. We're being navigated through the fog of unseeing, or we can only see, you know, 5 feet ahead of us. And so we don't see. And so we really got to trust the universe. And just like in a fog, when you're, you know, walking or in a car, it's like you have to be very aware, you know, because you can smash into a tree, a person, a thing. So I think it's difficult in the first bit here trying to navigate through, but you are being navigated through. And so I feel like this process, this journey, this going through the fog, having to be in the dark of certain things, going through the ugly period of cutting certain habits, people, things, places, whatever of the past away, has been painful. Going through the period of not making the money or seeing the fruit or getting the accolades or the rewards that we deserve is the painful process, but that's the process of the cultivation of everything that needs to sort of happen in order for us then to become this beautiful transformed star. Okay, and the star is, you're going to be a star. Like, you're going to be recognized, you're going to be seen. And so I feel like what Spirit is saying, although it may seem kind of traumatic maybe a little bit here, or difficult, everything I explained, because death is never an easy process, and transformation sometimes hurts, because usually hurts because when the butterflies and when the caterpillars and the chrysalis stage, it really thinks it's dying. It starts to suffocate itself, and it thrashes about, and it has to literally sort of die in order for it to come out of the chrysalis to be born. It thinks it's dying. So the dying process is happening in order for you to be this maximum state butterfly in your truest beauty, which is the star. You know, out of maybe what you had to work with, which might have been crap, low money, not enough, or whatever. But that's the illusion. The illusion is, because it's not looking good, because it seems like it might be crap, that's just temporary experience, temporary pain point, temporary maintenance of your own self, a temporary state of the catalyst, I keep saying catalyst, of the chrysalis, in order for you to be reborn. So shine brightly. Never dim yourself to start to believe that because it didn't happen or produce, that that's going to be my state, and that, you know, and trust that your uniqueness and the way you can deliver this and your confidence to this thing is what's going to support you in a way. I think you're going to be very Nine Pentacles here, very successful, understanding the ins and outs of what you created here, very confident, people trust you. And I feel like this is truly the reflection of who you are. I think something's going to take you by surprise when all of a sudden you have this, like, this happen, because it's going to happen in a sudden way. Although, yes, maybe, you know, temporary pains and temporary fogs. But once this clicks, once this happens, it's totally going to take you by shock and surprise, because that's exactly where you're being navigated to. Okay, you're just in the dark right now, but there's a promise here from Spirit, promise that you deserve to get all the wealth, all the fruit, all the abundance, and all the fame, all the recognition, be seen for the light, whether you want to be in the limelight or not. It's your light that's being seen here, because it needs to be seen, and be proud of this light. Don't shy away. Don't dim it down. Don't pretend it's not you, or, you know, because if we're not used to this, we're not used to being the one that's celebrated or seen or recognized, we might start to, I don't know, like, not believe it. You know, that's an illusion. We might laugh it off as, oh, it's not really me, or imposter syndrome. Comical, get to maybe defensive about, you know, or guarded or protective. But that's the reactionary us that never really experienced the level of stardom or the level of being seen. So we want to lean into the authenticity of our value, of what makes us different, and be proud, you know, but not the pride that egoically gets in the way, but the proud energy is one that understands that I've gone through some form of process here that I've done in cahoots with Spirit that has moved me towards this thing, and I am deserving of this thing. And so you are right now having to come into balance of mind, body, spirit. And until the mind, body, spirit is at a place where the manifestation can just sort of happen, we're sort of in the dark and in the fog. But this is part of the process, and it's temporary. So don't worry. Okay. We need to see through the illusion. And the illusion is, because it suffers, because there's no fruit right now, that's what it is. It's like, no, be confident, be in an energy here that's trust, that this is all part of the process. And that even though we might feel we're dying, and that the business might be dying, or the project or the creation isn't going to take life, it has to take life. It's going to. You're promised this, but it has to go through this process, no matter how sort of temporary, you know, it is here. Trust in that. Don't focus on the illusion part, because when we do, then we start to become more defensive, and we might start to play ourselves small or down, and might think, who is I, like, to think that I could be this or do that? Like, Who are you? You are this or that. You're not yeah, there's an imposter syndrome. Like, I'm not the star that people think I am, or I'm not this thing. It's like, you are, you know? So I think it's going to catch you off guard here of what this thing is you deserve. And you might be really focused on how it happens or forms or cultivates, and Spirit saying, don't worry. You know, the fact that it's cultivating in a way here or manifesting in a way that might be painful or not going exactly as you plan. The crooked tree is telling me, and I don't know the official sort of book definition of this, but I feel like this is the ingenuity, because I feel like this is your signature thing. Because of the experience in getting there, it's part of that tree's security, the groundedness, the way it is different than other trees. And so that's the beautiful thing that's going to produce the wealth and produce the thing of substance for you. So we're asking Spirit for a clear and concise message. For pile number 3, Spirit, what are they needing to know in regards to what they deserve and why they deserve it? Right here, right now, Spirits, please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good. Thank you so much, pile number 3, for allowing me to tap into your energy and the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed. So don't read bottom of the deck reverse. We have Ace Wands and we have 5 Cups in reverse. Creative energy, a spark. It's going to happen just like a match. And once it's on, it's on. We can't put out the fire. It's on, it's on. And so I feel like the process here is difficult. We'll get out of that. It's temporary. So if we're 5 Cups, looking at what we had to cut off or what didn't work, we'll be looking back on this, really. And I feel laughing at it was such a minuscule part of the process, because the reward here is so grand, you know? So if you are in a 5 Cups, it's temporary, really. Okay, look at that. True emotional happiness from something here that's also going to provide you with practical abundance with the 9 Pentacles. So you're going to be, not only are you going to be emotionally fulfilled, I feel like all the people in your family, your community of people are also being emotionally fulfilled by this delivery, because it's something that brings fulfillment to everyone that engages in that, whatever you're producing or creating or delivering, service to others. So your soul family is going to come in. And I think you're making families more happy and content. Like energies in the world are becoming more fulfilled here. Relationships potentially are becoming more emotionally fulfilled by your delivery of this service or creation or the thing. Wow, this is really amazing here. So we have 7 Swords in reverse. That's the imposter syndrome, and the 9 Swords, imposter syndrome. We don't see ourselves that way. That's the dragonfly. You have to see through the illusion. Okay, the self that plays small or has too much anxiety of being seen has to be seen. And I think you might be a private person. You might not want the accolades and the reward. And you might think, oh, like maybe you're a spiritual person and you're like, I don't really want to be appearing like a materialistic, or I don't know, some famous person or something like this, you know, the guru. Like I like to be under the radar or whatever. But your service and your commitment deliverable needs to come out to this world. And that's why, you know, it's usually the people who don't want it, don't want the fame and the whatever, that they're the most impactful and that they are seen. So this needs to be fed to the world. And if not you, then who? Because you're the one here with the ingenuity. You're delivering this, okay? You're delivering this. 10 Pentacles in reverse and the Fool. So I do feel there's something that hasn't produced the abundance in the material world just yet. And we had to cut out, you know, a part of some sort of established structure. Like I said, sometimes it's families or things that it could be your day job, you know, whatever we built, or the understanding of what we were giving to in a practical way. I was showing up for my job, or I was really focused on this thing. It's like we had to part with it, or we had to let it go, or let it transform out, cut it out in order for the new thing to be born, so that we could be emotionally happy. But trust that the abundance will come, but we're maybe starting over. Okay, but we're really being navigated with this boat towards this thing, but we need to trust in the divine. Take the leap of faith. Aquarius energy. And there's the Wheel of Fortune in reverse and the 2 Swords. So I feel right now, this is the message Spirit is telling you. It might feel like things are really stuck right now. And I feel Spirit is saying the only time things will be stuck is when you hold the key and you sit on a decision that you're needing to make and you're not sure which way to go. The universe will sort of stall out, waiting for you to get on board with the decisions you make. And so we need to be very aware of what decisions are we choosing, and are they coming from a trust in the divine. I might not see the fruit today, but I'm confident that the universe has my back. And right now I don't think you feel the universe has your back. And so the more we don't think the universe has our back, the more we create 5 cups and see realities that we're projecting. And so the universe is saying you're more than deserving of a 10 pentacle, 10 cup. You're going to get financial reward and build a stability and security over time with the emotional fulfillment of something that seems very dry or desolate right now. It's not paying it for you. And you're going to be recognized for this. And recognize that the pain or the slowness is really this transient energy that, or temporary energy, an energy that will too pass. And so we need to align ourselves with working with the universe. Like the universe is going to put decisions in front of you. Don't hum and haw. Okay? Like don't fight or resist or tell yourself you're not good or imposter syndrome, laugh it away and sit there. The universe says, trust. When it's time to act, take a jump. Okay? Because we might feel we're doing it ourselves or we have to do it ourselves. And that's too much, one, it's pride, because it's like, well, you think you know more than the universe, that you have to make all sorts of things happen. No, trust the universe is making it happen. The universe is the one doing it. You're not doing anything. All you have to do is steer the wheel. This way, that way. Pull the trigger. Yes, no. Universe unfolds. Yes, no. Universe unfolds. Yes, no. Course correct. Trust, trust, trust. Okay, but right now I feel like we're stalling out. We don't trust the universe. We're trying to make decisions potentially, or humming and hawing, not choosing. And so we feel 5 cups. And Spirit is saying, if you get the inspiration to take action, do it. That's where it's born. That's where this baby is created here. Okay, no matter how temporary pains might be, that's how we get there. 7 cups. Yeah, so we're still humming and hawing, and we're not seeing what should I choose and which one is it, and I'm sort of still confused. And it's like, the only reason we're here is because we're in our mind and we're not listening to the universe, and we're not leaning into trusting the universe to unfold. And so things could be more direct as we go through the fog. We don't have to pick the end result at this time. All these cups are all these choices. And so maybe we pick a cup here, because in the fog, that's the only cup we saw. And it didn't really work. And then what? Are we going to get discouraged? No, the universe put that cup in front of us for a reason. Didn't work. Oh, here, I tweaked it. I corrected it. But I keep making decisions and moving with the universe. I don't sit there hum and haw at this one cup saying, because I don't see and I don't know. And so I'm not going to create nothing. And I'm just going to not let my creativity go wild here. Because there's something that needs to come out. You need to be seen. Pile number 3. This is really in line with yesterday's message too. So, beautiful people, do what you will, but this is your message. You're deserving. You're deserving of seeing who you truly are. And right now I feel like you're playing small and you're not being seen by the world. You're not. Your gift, your talent, your contribution is not being seen. And you're really, really someone here that's going to be seen as it, the official it. Okay, and it becomes with it a great reward for you and for everyone who sort of connects and engages with this service or this beautiful gift that you're doing. And it's not without having to navigate through, which is fine, because once you get there, it'll all be worth it. Okay, beautiful pile 3, promise from Spirit, and I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye.